Yo, you know how I do. I treat this rap shit like sport. Y'all niggas trying to act like a pig's pussy, not pork. These niggas treating my discography like a kid snort. I was fucking pussy on that couch. You corny rappers try building a fort.
What's going on? This is your boy, the Serpent Tongue, Corbin Skipwith, and I'm here with a very special guest that you want to introduce.
Oh yeah, man. Action figure 973. You already know.
Thanks again for accepting my interview request for the
Hell
Devil's
yeah.
Advocate series. Thank you.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Yo, thank you for having me, bro.
So this is an exciting moment, boys, because this is a man that I discovered this year. Actually, with the Dark Side of the Ring, #1. That was recommended to me first, and I kind of put it to the side of it. I was like, oh yeah, I'll get to later. And then I realized about the wrestling context, and then I think the first album I covered by you, I think was Doom Was Right. I think that was the first album
Okay.
I reviewed by you, and then since then I've got most of your work since then. So yeah, I just want to talk about your 2025 discography as it is extensive, and I feel like you've been getting a lot of acclaim with this discography so far. So I just want to talk about the process of setting albums and yeah, your mind behind it.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Cool. So okay, we'll start with okay, let's start with obviously the first one, which is what the Jelly Bean and Blunts. That was the first one, with Wolverine.
Right, right. That was our first release. So that one, man, so to be honest, I recorded Luchador Body Odor first. So just mainly just all of my parts, not the features. So while waiting for the features to get done, me and Wolf just decided to start working on another project. And what happened was I think I had did I know the first song that we recorded for that was One Night in Sue. And when I recorded that, it didn't really fit LBO.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So we were like, oh, let's start something. Let's just do a mixtape. You know what I mean? That was when the mixtape thing was being kind of thrown around. You know what I'm saying? Which ended up being Dark Side. But we did Jolly B as just something just for fun. You know what I'm saying? He gave me a bunch of beats that didn't really have like a home, like I said. So we just decided to do Jolly B and Blunts. That was kind of me and Wolverine's thing while we were recording LBO. It's like, I would swoop him up because he lives in Queens. I live in New Jersey. So I pick him up, off the train and everything. And, usually we hit Jolly B, smoke some blunts, and then, you know what I'm saying, we go right to the studio. So, you know what I mean? So we just had fun doing that, man. And that was just more to just, I guess, keep busy until the features came through for LBO.
Yeah. So what's it like working with someone like Wolverine? Because he's someone I discovered this year as well, and I think he's an
Mhm.
incredible producer, and obviously someone who's passionate about wrestling, which I feel would be
Right,
important in your line of discography. So what's it like,
right, right, right.
the chemistry with you two in the studio?
Man, Wolves, man. When I first met him, I met him on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like he's like a friend or something, or like a friend of the family or something like that. But I met him on Twitter, man, and he just hit me up like out of nowhere. It was just like he was like, "Yo, man, he gave me admiration for some music that I had out at the time. Because when I first started, I was a producer, but he was complimenting me as an MC, which, those compliments weren't coming right away, coming at first until, I started coming out more. But he took notice to that off my first project on Haberdashery. So he asked me if he could send me some beats, and he sent me Ultimo Dragon, Ultimo Dragon in WCW off Luchador's Going Platinum. And ever since then, we were just tapped in. So, he was the first person that, I did a project with, you know. So the chemistry has always been there because he's just to me, I just noticed how ill those beats were at first. And, a lot of people at the time were not really trying to help him. You know what I'm saying? He had like different people that he was collaborating with, and nobody really was taking the time to really let him, curate a project for him, so, I gave him that shot and he gave me a shot too. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know me, and he's young and I'm, in my, late 30s, So it's been cool, man. Like I said, we've just grown together, you know what I'm saying? And we've came up in this shit together, and a lot of cool shit has happened for the both of us separately as well as together. So he's awesome, man. I
Yeah.
love that kid, man. You know what I'm saying? He's like the little brother. He's a little brother, you know what I mean? But he's the homie too. It's just sometimes I gotta remember too, like when I hang out with him and shit. It's like, yeah, this is your homie and this is your friend, you know what I'm saying? But he's produced some classic shit for people, and
I agree. He's a fantastic producer. I forgot which project I first discovered him on.
Mhm.
I think it might have been him and Rebel Star Circle. So, whatever that was.
Oh, him and Rebel, you said? Him and
Yeah,
Rebel Sky?
yeah.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
the first time, but I forgot how I discovered either of them. But
Mhm.
regardless, I think that was the first time, and then from there, I met a bunch of like you and other people, and then it kind of spiraled. But in my opinion, and obviously this could just I could be wrong, but from looking at the landscape of the underground, I felt like the album that drew you the most, like the start of your snowball to major success that you have now, is Doom Was Right. I feel that album, that's what that one talked about more than the rest before, and I feel like that one started your um, attention, like the most attention to you since then. Would you say that? Would you say that's
Right.
accurate?
Um, I disagree, only because I think the first one that people really got, which I felt really kind of started the snowball effect, I guess, with to me, in my opinion, was Dark Side of the Ring was the first one. So I think it just culminated. It was like Dark Side of the Ring one, then Dark Side of the Ring two, and then the payoff from those was Doom was right. So that was the one to me that I think was the one that maybe was like when the bomb finally exploded. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
obviously having Copenhagen behind it, having bars behind it. Not only that, having Vega on it as well, Vega 7 to Ronin, having Blue on there. Um, it just came at an exciting time, you know what I'm saying? So like it just like I said, so to me it's like the snowball effect. Like I said, I feel it always starts with Dark Side of the Ring one, then Dark Side of the Ring two, and then by Doom was right, it was like, oh, okay, holy shit. All right.
Because
Yeah.
I specifically remember I was visiting my parents and I saw the recent Doom Was Right. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, is that the cat that the people have been talking to me about? Is that
Mhm.
the Dark Side of the Ring cat? And then I checked your album out, loved it, reviewed it, and then since then
Mhm.
you've been on my watch list. But
Right,
yeah,
right.
so I remember the impact of that, and yeah, like you said, bars, Copenhagen, like you've exploded into this um, this culture icon. Obviously, not just for your talent, but obviously, the lucha mask and the wrestling representation.
Right.
And I think it's super because obviously I love wrestling too. So to see someone like you who loves wrestling, just like me, or like Wolverine, um, make it to where you're making it and the spiral you're going on, it's a super cool thing.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. So tell me about Dark Side of the Ring 3 because obviously this one is the one with Sabu on the cover. This has a
Mhm.
lot of homage to the legend Sabu, and so
Right, right.
so what was going through your mind making that one? Obviously, probably Sabu, but like, was there anything different about that album compared to one and two, or anything?
Yeah, well, I mean, Dark Side of the Ring one and two, I was jacking people's beats basically. Let's just, call a spade a spade. I took West Side Gun's beat, I took TF and DJ Muggs beat for Rap is Crap. So I was taking people's beats, and the one thing that I was afraid of was I just didn't want someone to come with a copyright strike or somebody get mad like, yo, you're, essentially taking my shit. You're taking people's shit and you're still putting it up on DSPs and making money off of it. You hear what I'm saying? But at the time, I just like when I was making those mixtapes, it was just like I didn't give a fuck. Like I was like,
Yeah.
yo, it was like, yo, they asked me to take it down, I'll take it down, but the shit is still out there regardless. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, yo, whatever. Like I just didn't get like I was kind of like on my like 50 Cent shit with that. I was just like, yo, like I don't care, man. I took other people's beats and made hits on them. So when it came down to Dark Side of the Ring 3, man, Sam Rothstein, man, he his homie hit me up kind of out of nowhere, and first it started with a story that I got mentioned in, and it was like, yo, action figure should do a project with Sam Rothstein. And when I got that, I was like, who the fuck is Sam Rothstein? You know what I'm saying? But but I'm one of those people, man. Like yo, like I listen to everything. You know, like people can DM me and shit, and I'll listen to your beats. You know what I'm saying? If they're good, I'll definitely do something with them. But if they're not good, then obviously, I'm not doing nothing. But Sam Roskin came and he just had these like crazy beats that I was just like when I heard them, like Dark Side of the Ring came to mind. So I had started doing, I had maybe did like two records. I think I did the Krishna whiskey first, and I think the Jay Uso one was the second one. I know that's your favorite song, right?
Oh, Jameson. Yeah.
But yeah, I had did Jay Uso, and then around that same time, man, Sabu had passed away. So originally, for it being the third installment of the Dark Side series, I was gonna do it. I was gonna do like a tribute. The cover originally was supposed to be the Cena heel turn. So
Oh
I was
wow.
yeah, yeah. So I was gonna be Cena. Sam Rothstein was gonna be Travis Scott, and my engineer War was supposed to be The Rock. But but as soon as like the Sabu passing away happening, that kind of changed everything for me as far as the direction of what I wanted to do with the tape. As far like I like the intros being something obscure and from somewhere, from some old tape somewhere. So I was trying to find like good like Sabu promos, and I realized like Sabu wasn't really like known for talking. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up putting the Paul Heyman one, and a lot of people, certain people had hit me up, man, and weren't happy about the Paul Heyman being the intro I used for RIP Sabu. But I was like, damn, son, I thought that shit was perfect. It just, I thought it was just an ill soundbite, and when we paired it to the guitar riff, I thought it was ill, man. I remember it was me, it was Eric the Red, and my engineer at the time, and they were there, and we all kind of approved it, and we all thought it was ill, man. But some people didn't like it, but and as far as like the cover, I had taken a picture with Sabu because I met him probably like a year prior. Me, the homie Jay Rhymes, me and my boy Eric the Red, we got to smoke a blunt with Sabu, and he was cool as fuck. He we were like smoking with him, and he kind of knew that me and my boy Eric were marks. So he was like, all right. He's like, I feel like you guys are itching to ask me a question. He's like, go ahead. He was like, lay it on me. And I was like, yo, my favorite match with you was you and Ray from One Night Stand. And he was like, that was a good one. He was like, that was a good one. He was like, he was like, he's like, fuck Ray. He's like, he didn't want to put me over. So we were cracking up laughing from that. And I was like, yo, did you really break your neck? And he was like, nah. He's like, I didn't break my neck. He's like, that was because of Rey Mysterio not wanting to put me over. So they had to come with some schmaz finish, and he was like, "That's what we all came up with." So just like having that memory, man, I was just like, "Yo, with the Dark Side of the Ring too, with the seat, with the ring and everything, with the cover, I always like tribute something. So like the first one was the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon rip. Then the second one being the Austin and Vince with the bang gun. And so I have a pic. Like I said, I took a picture with Sabu. The original picture I have, unfortunately, is me unmasked with Sabu. But I had Dyer paint paint the mask on the original picture, man, and that's what I went with for the cover. So
So one thing I'm confused. What issue do people have with Paul Heyman? Why?
uh,
Is someone
so
ECW? What's
right,
going on?
right. So like I wasn't aware, man, that there's actual podcasts out there that Sabu had did where he basically said, Heyman didn't look out for him. He was just not. I guess around the time of his death, he wasn't really on good terms with Heyman. So, people close to him were like, "Damn, why didn't you just rap?" They were like, "Why didn't you just rap the intro instead of putting the Paul Heyman soundbite on there?" And I was just like, "Man, yeah, man." So, I caught some shit for it, and I understand it. That's my due diligence. You know what I mean? I wasn't I wasn't fully aware of again of the magnitude of that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's my fault. But there was no harm, no foul though.
Yeah, I thought it was a dope intro, so I love it.
Yeah, appreciate that, man.
All right, so going from there, I want to talk about a surprising collaboration. Well, I thought it was surprising when it came out. I think right before Chris, no, it's not when it came out, but you and Machachi, the most
Right,
interesting
right.
man in the world. So how did that end up coming? Well, who contacted who? How did that come to pass?
So what happened was I had the record "Fuck Bill Goldberg" that was on Jolly B and Blunt, and in it I had said my next bar my land me an album with Machacha, and we had did the music video, and I think around the time the music video dropped, we were following each other, but there was no real contact. Nobody spoke to anybody, and then after I did that, I guess the video dropped. Somebody must have sent that to him, or been like, "Yo, like check this out, like yo, look what this guy's saying." And he hit me up. He was just like, "Yo, you want to do a project?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, I want to do a project." You know what I mean? Like, I'm very aware of like outside of just like myself, like I understand like people in the culture and people that are phenomenons in the culture. You know what I'm saying? And the way I look at Machacha, like I've been said before, I think Machacha is like a kingmaker. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody he's worked with has gone on to do amazing things, and they do amazing things. You can list them off. SD Knack, Mickey Diamond, Pro Dillinger, Andre the Saint, Vega 7. You know what I'm saying? The list goes on
Yeah.
and on. You know what I'm saying? And I just knew that I always felt that there's certain like things in the underground that you kind of that you have to hit in order to be like, what I'm saying, one of those guys. And one of them I thought was an album with Cha. So, I was gung ho on doing one. And when he hit me up, I was fucking happy as hell. I was like, yeah, let's do it, man. He sent me a pack over, and yeah, man, we kind of just went from there, man.
How did that intro come about?
Which
That's
the most interesting man in the world, man. So what happened was uh I'm a big fan. I was a big fan of those old Dos Equis commercials, the most interesting man in the world commercials. And I always just thought that that was so ill. You know what I'm saying? And when I thought about it, I was like, yo, the most interesting man in the world. And I thought of like all like the ridiculous things that those commercials were saying about that guy. Like, oh, he once punched a magician, and all this crazy shit. And I was like, yo, that's kind of like what I do. You know what I'm saying? Musically, I just say some like outlandish shit about myself sometimes, and it just made me laugh. And I just thought, like, yo, like I looked at it like on some like wrestling, rap, ego shit. You know what I'm saying? Yo, like I'm the most interesting man in the world. I was surprised that nobody had done it before. You know what I'm saying? So I just like looked up a bunch of those most interesting man in the world commercials, and I found like one really good one where there was nothing behind it, no music. It was just straight talking. It was perfect.
yeah. I love that album. I remember I recorded the same day it dropped.
All right,
I
man.
remember that one specific that I did
Yeah,
that
yeah.
because I remember I had plans and I was like fuck it, let's just get this over and done with, so that I can not so I don't have to worry about it for later.
hmm
Yeah, fantastic album. Going from there, you had the WWF ice cream bars featuring Brother Tom
Right.
and SOS. So so how did that collaboration come to be?
So it came through the producer Artificer.
Yeah.
But he's from out of Copenhagen, believe it or not, which is funny too. He's from Denmark as well.
Mm.
Um, so what happened was, man, when Artificer first hit me up, I was like, yo, who have you worked with before? And he said, oh, I've worked with brother Tom Sos from Griselda. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, word. So me and him got an album coming. That's actually the next thing I'm releasing soon. Um, yeah, we did the album, and then one day I guess I saw like brother. I had heard the what is it? Heels Have Eyes too. I heard the song Prick with him and Gun. I thought dude was ill. I thought I liked what I heard. I was like, holy shit. I was like, it was my first time really listening to him. So I thought the joint was ill. And I had hit up Artificer like curiosity wise. I was like, yo, you told me you did some music with him. I was like, yo, how much did you pay him? And he told me the number. He told me the number, and I was like, oh, okay. Like he was like, yo, but the number he gave me was from a while ago. He was like, I don't know how much dude would charge now. You know what I'm saying? Now that these gun collabs that came out or whatever. So, long story short, Artificer came through and was just like, he was like, yo, I have two collabs with him. He's like, I'll donate one to the album. And I was like, hell yeah. I was like, dope. So he hit up brother Tom Sos to make sure like that was cool. And so I had to throw in some loot on it, and then which was fine. Like I matched what Artificer paid, so it wasn't even like a bad. It wasn't bad. It was a good business deal, to be honest. But yeah, man, he came through. We did the song. Song came out dope. Then we did the music video, man, and it just kind of lined up with uh the last Heels Have Eyes, the one they did in Six Flags. So he was out here, he was down here, he was down in New York. So we just like met up, did the video real quick, man, and he was super cool about it, man.
Yeah, that was a great track. Great song. After that, you threw everyone for a loop with instrumental album.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank God for thing. Um,
Right.
so like that, and so you're at the high point of your career, I would assume. All these bang albums, and then you just drop going back to your roots as a producer for a beat tape. What
Right.
what brought that on?
So I did the beat tape. So that I had been holding on to for a while. I had started that like in 2023, and I just didn't finish it, and I ended up finishing it around the time that I finished The Most Interesting Man in the World. And I just had something just to take a break from the raps. I felt like I was giving everybody, I gave everybody a good amount of albums. I feel like what by time Most Interesting Man, I feel like that was what maybe like my eighth project or seventh project. So I was just like, yo, let's throw a beat tape out there, and you know what I'm saying, and just let it rock, And I was kind of inspired by Wolf. Wolf was telling me to do those, dude. He was like, yo, he's always wanted me to jump into the beat tape lane, and I'm a fan of what Wolverine does with those beat tapes. So he has like the cool themes, and he goes all out with that shit. So I had I had to thank God for Fanya, just because all the samples that I used were from Fanya, which is a Latino record label that was founded in the 70s, man, in New York. So they dropped a lot of like Hector Lavoe, um, what's it called? It was like a lot of Hector Lavoe, Celia Cruz, uh, man, you name it. A lot of like
Yeah.
salsa legends, a lot of like good music. So I was just a fan of that, and I just wanted to make something that was from my roots. It was also exploring music that I wasn't very familiar with, so it was just all fun. It was like culture, man. I was just having fun with my culture, and then at the same time like exploring music and what I'm saying, learning some shit.
I completely forgot, by the way, speaking of BTS and Wolverine, around this time of this before, you took a heel turn on Wolverine's tape when he started trying to fuck up Superman.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
on the album Contingency. which I bought
Hmm.
right away. That's a crazy EP.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so you decided to go for Superman in a rare little dual turn that didn't last very long. How was that like? What? So how fun was So for that EP, did you choose which superhero you were going to represent to fight, or did like Wolverine do that to you? Like,
I'm trying to figure it out because I think, yo, he sent me the beat and it had the Batman thing on it already. And when he was going at Superman, and I was like, yo, I don't even like Superman. I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, I'll do a song. I was like, yo, I'm gonna do a whole song like dissing him. So like, I'm a comic book head, so you know what I mean. I'll go and like, so it's funny, right? You know I guess the alternate vinyl cover
yeah,
that Dyer did, where it's the alien Superman's pointing at Wolverine. I showed Wolverine the actual comic one day. I was like, yo, I had went to the comic book shop and I sent him a picture of the book. And I was like, yo, I'm doing research for the record. And yeah, he fell in love with that. Ended up using it for the vinyl cover, which was pretty ill. But yeah, man, I've just never been really like the biggest. I'm not the biggest Superman fan, but I just always thought it was just kind of fun, man, and it was different because I never really like had a comic book opponent, so it was just fun, just saying things that I would want to say about Superman and what I really thought about Superman. So I thought that was pretty cool, man. And when he told me about the EP, I just thought it was cool as fuck because that's different. Like you don't
mm,
see people really like like rap, man. They stay away from geeky cultures and all that stuff, man. Meanwhile, most of these guys on the low be watching anime and all of that. So what I mean?
well, recognize Green Lantern.
Yeah, there you go, Green Lantern.
Got it right. Um, yeah. So we leave it from that heel tone. You're back to a baby face. You made a beat tape, and then we go to your album, was circa '97, which piece of news that I haven't heard back in months. This is ages ago. I sort of
Right, right.
Lucian Libre for Christmas, which speaking of intros, has to be my favorite intro of your whole discography this year. And I want to know first of all, how did you find that intro of everyone saying Merry Christmas?
The Christmas thing, oh man, I had went on like so. Circuit hit me up probably I want to say a week before Thanksgiving, and he caught me at like a pretty good time. I had just finished the Artificer stuff, and I was ready to take a break, man. I was ready to not even do nothing. My final project, the only one that was scheduled was LBO. So yeah, when he hit me up about doing it, I was like, yo, I need an intro. So I went on YouTube, man. I was just like, yo, WWF Christmas. And there was a bunch of stuff. It was primetime wrestling. I think it was like a Saturday show. It was like Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon. And so I was seeing a bunch of those clips, and then I saw that one with the classic from I think I want to say it was what 86 or something like that. I think it was 84 or something like that. And I saw that. I just heard that old Vince McMahon and then Freddie Blassie and all those guys. I was like, yeah, this is dope, man. And I liked like the I didn't use a lot of it, man, because there was there was one that was funny on there. It was the Iron Sheik was on there. Mind you, Iron Sheik is Muslim. Muslims don't celebrate Christmas. They had they had him on there. And he was like going crazy too on there, which is funny as hell. But I just got a good kick out of it, man. And I liked what Tony Atlas said at the end. I liked the way it sounded. It sounded like an old radio intro or something. And I don't know, man, that made me feel festive. And I was like, yeah, I think this will be perfect, man. Yeah.
How was that collaboration like working with an artist? Because I know he released tons of bangers early in the year. I reviewed a lot
Mhm.
of them. So what's it like working with him, and what's his process? Do you guys have good chemistry in the studio?
Yeah, I mean, me and Circa, we had did an EP back in 2024 early
Hmm.
on, called Lucha Libre for the Soul. Um, and it's one of those ones that people like deem it a classic. People it was one of those ones that I think people finally really at that time really started to pay attention. We hadn't collabed in a while, and he had dropped a lot of like good stuff, like stuff with like Rico Sama. I think he did something with JUCO. He did something with like a few people, and we were always trying to figure out when to do a second tape together, and he just came out of nowhere, man, with the Christmas stuff, and he was like, "Yo, I want to see if you wanted to do a project for Christmas." And me, I've always wanted to do something for Christmas, and all the guys around me always thought that the idea was whack. You know what I'm saying? They weren't really into the idea. I guess because they thought nobody wants to make a jingle. You know what I mean? But I wasn't trying to make no jingles and stuff. So when Circuit came with the beats, man, our chemistry is it's like, yo, he just sends me stuff, man. Every time he's just sending me a pack and just tells me to pick, man. And I just pick the ones that I think that I would sound the best on, man. And that's just kind of how it happened.
Yeah. And then, of course, we end with Lucha Body Odor, LBO. Yeah, the third installment, You and Wolverine. An amazing album. It's just like, why did you choose that name?
Luchador
I was
Body
like, what the
Odor.
fuck? Like,
Uh, so I don't know. I take it you're not a Makami fan.
I am. Yeah.
So he had an album called Haitian Body Odor.
Oh.
Right. So I thought the album was pretty dope, man, and I thought the name was funny as hell, Haitian Body Odor. So like me and Wolf, we had this like thing, right, where we did Luchadors going platinum, then Luchadors going diamond, and we kind of like ran ourselves into a wall there because we ran out of precious metals to use.
Yeah.
So So the luchador body odor, I don't know. Like one day I remember hearing Haitian body odor, and I was like, yo, luchador body odor. And then me and Wolf were supposed to do one called Only Built for Luchadors, like what I'm saying. So we were just going around like taking like different names of albums and just throwing luchador in there, and we were just doing that for fun, just laughing, like like Supreme Luchador, like what I'm saying, like we were just making like funny shit, and but with Luchador Body Odor, I just thought it was pretty ill, and then I always had that cover idea of me in the mask, and then Shorty behind me tying the mask. You know what I mean? I just thought that would have been I just knew that would have been an iconic image that to have as a cover, man. I just felt like all those things kind of played together, man.
Fantastic album. I remember writing that. For me, I wrote that review after I clocked off work because I was catching an Uber home anyway, and I was like, "Fuck it." And, like I like writing in different environments. I like to be in different areas
Uh,
and write instead of my home. It's just a lot more. So I
mhm.
was just sitting there after work. I had some snacks on my side, and I was like,
Nice.
"Fuck it, let's get going." And like I told you on text, I was like, the line where I was like, WWE, ECW, WCW. I'm like, oh, what the fuck am I doing this? I was just like, it took me 3 minutes. I'm like, there's a smart one.
Yeah,
Which you're on the ground, but sometimes it'll be like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay. So now that we talked about your music, I want to talk about the mask. So first of all, my most important question: how come you didn't change up like Rey Mysterio? WrestleMania, you could
Uh,
have done Joker
so you know
mask.
what? Every now and then, man, I'll wear a different one, like in a video. Like there's one video where I have where the mask is just it's like the Puerto Rican flag. When I first came out, my mask was it was like the American flag. So I had that as like I called it like my Great American Bash Sting mask. You know what I mean? Like, so I've switched it up every now and then, man. But I just think for business wise and like like, I feel like a cartoon character. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep the same mask. Yeah. So I feel like you got to wear the same clothes. You know what I mean? So I just think this was the one that kind of like anytime I wore them, like the other mask, like cool things happened. But when I started wearing the Blue Demon one, which is this one, this is the Blue Demon mask. As soon as that I started wearing this mask, that's when everything kind of all came together. So I figured why deviate from the blue one and make that the statement piece, But every now and then I do change it up every now and then. But
Yeah. So like, how did that start? Is it just for privacy reasons, or is it just like why the mask?
the mask, a little bit of everything, man. One, I used to do music back in the day, and I just think the mask, separates this time from that time, it's also privacy, at the same time, but all in all, man, yeah. And it's also just I like being different. I like setting myself apart. So, when I first started wearing the mask, I didn't think it was gonna be a big deal. You know what I mean? And it's taking a life of its own, So
And the name Action Figure 973. Why choose that as a rap name, and what's the origins behind it?
so like I said, I'm a fan of like, comic books and collecting and geek culture as well, man. So I used to collect action figures, you know what I'm saying? I was collecting the WWF Hasbro toys for a little while. I have little collections and little things here and there of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, and all that 90s nostalgia toys. But I don't know, man. I just like one day, man, somebody I had made some beats, man, and I gave a beat to a homie of mine, and he was like, "Yo, what do I call you?" And I was like, "Yo, you know what? Let me change my rapper name to from my producer name." And I was like, "Yo, why don't you say Action Figure did it?" Yeah. And I don't know. I just think and I've also like studied things too. Like I heard this rapper named Shirt one time from out of New York, and his name was Shirt, and it just worked. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, like words like that, where it's like, an inanimate object, and it just works out.
Fuck yeah. No, I can definitely say, as someone who's observing the culture from afar, I can tell you're definitely standing out, not just for the mask, for your themes, for your abilities, especially for the discography you've built up, especially over last year. Um, and I'm curious if there's anything you can tell the audience about your plans for this year. What do you have coming out? Anything you can actually tell?
Yeah, man. My next project that's coming out is me and Artificer. I don't have the date yet, but pretty dope album. You know what I mean? I'm excited, man. It's definitely wrestling themed. It's definitely bar heavy. This one I think it's a lot more. I think I did a lot more songwriting on this one than more than just going crazy with the bars. So I'm really excited about this one. I think it's the most hooks I've had on an album. You know what I'm saying? So pretty proud of that. Yeah, man. As far as everything else, man, I'm not sure, man. The one thing that I think I learned from last year, man, like I went into last year with LBO, Jolly B, and Doom was right. And you know what I'm saying? And when I came out of last year, there was way more than those things planned. So the only thing I could kind of say is, stay tuned and watch, man. I'm not sure, man. Yeah.
All right. And the
Yeah.
last thing I want to ask you is, at the moment, in the present day, who do you think is the best wrestler in the world?
Who do I think is the best wrestler in the world, man?
Like in ring, like the best in ring wrestler.
Best in ring right now? I'm gonna say Gunther. Gunther's my favorite probably right now. The ring general.
I do love Gunther. My answer would have been Takeshita, but I do love Gunther. The only thing I
Yeah,
watch at WWE is Gunther. So
it is.
yeah.
I know you're not a WWE guy, man.
Oh fuck no. Especially after the thing I sent you today.
Mhm.
Fucking Shinsuke. Um,
Yeah,
but
that's crazy.
yeah. Okay. Look, I've had fun having you on here. Make sure you watch Wrestle Kingdom after this. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's been fun. You're a guy, like I said, that I discovered early in the year, and you've been on my watch list since, and I'm excited to see your progress as of 2026. So thank you for your time.
yeah. Nah, man, I appreciate you, bro.